This is Level Up Success Podcast with Neth and Truth.
Yeah, no, awesome. So yeah, now let's do it. Let's talk about it. So what information will we be finding in your book?
Well, let's start with I'll talk about the second notebook, the color principles.
Okay.
Oh wait, so you have here it says table of contents. Is this like a because I see it says notebook, so it's like various.
Right.
Yeah.
It's no chapters.
Okay.
They're notebooks. That's what I call them.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
In my first book, each chapter was a floor.
Nice.
Because I'm just different.
Yeah.
I mean, you
So
guys should
in
share
my
that.
first book, 14 Floors to Nowhere, I had first floor, second floor, third floor. So each step, each floor took you somewhere else. And this pretty much does the same thing. It's just notebooks.
Okay.
So we got the first notebook, the second notebook, the third notebook. And every time you go inside of one of these notebooks, your head is going to go, shoo.
Okay.
And that's dope the way you did it because, like you said, she writing a journal. So every every part of the journal is a different notebook. So
Well, people won't know that, and they'll know it from being in the table of contents.
Yeah.
But the way it's written, you're just reading, just like you're reading a story. You're just reading. And then at some point, you're like, oh, you get the correlation between what you're going to read and why it's notebooks. You'll you'll get the answer to that somewhere along the journey.
That's good. Putting that curiosity to the viewers. That's awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So let's keep going. So which is there like a chapter you want to talk about or
I think the color principles she said,
Okay.
right?
Let's talk
So,
about the color principles.
On the color principle, what is more in her journal? What does she mostly talk about? Or
In the color principles, that whole notebook is about family colorism within, because this story is based on a black family, but it's also based on colorism between races, cultures, or whatever, because there's the best friend of the mother who's Dominican. There's the best friend of the daughter who's Puerto Rican. So I created all these characters on purpose.
to get that sense of diversity.
Yes.
Right, exactly,
Yeah.
because I wanted to show the interaction between our communities. I think it's even a Trinidadian in there somewhere and a couple other people.
no, definitely.
But what I did was I reversed the typical what you hear, which is usually darker skinned people, what they go through from lighter skinned people, and I'm not saying they do or don't. I know they do. But I also know that light skinned people get a lot of crap from darker skinned people. And what I personally think, this is just my humble opinion, it depends on what the household looks like. So if you happen to be the one dark-skinned person in a house where everybody's light, then you're gonna, what do they? Let me see, or negro. You'll be the moreno or whatever. The emphasis will go on your
pinpoint.
color because you're the only one against a bunch of light-skinned people, right?
Yeah.
The other side to that is you happen to be the light-skinned one, and you're in our family, and all of us are this color, so now we decide to call you names. Because nobody never talks about that, and that's why I talked about it.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
Because if you say black, dark, if you refer to someone being dark-skinned, everybody will come to that person's aid. But if somebody calls you a yellow bitch or a yellow man or whatever, it's like, no big deal.
Yeah.
That's not offensive too,
It is offensive, of course. Yeah.
right?
Yeah, it is. It makes sense, like.
Right. So instead of writing the typical, the the dark-skinned girl getting abused by all the lighter-skinned people, I reversed it because I wanted to point out sometimes other people can be really mean too. Sometimes other people can be really mean as well.
Oh, wow.
And it's a subject. What happens to the lighter-skinned person? Nobody never talks about that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
No, I've seen it. It's
So
funny
I'm
that you
talking
say
about
it. It's funny that you say that. I've seen it on TV, and I want people like you go. I find it funny because it doesn't matter if you guys skin or dark skin. We still people of color, and we still go through the same type of
Yeah,
racism.
no, we go through the same things. Let me say, you know, like one thing that happened to me when I went to DR once, right? So I visit my mom's side of the family. I know I discussed with you that my mom, she's dark skinned, you know, she's darker than you. So when I went over there to DR, one of my cousins like, oh my God, look, you grew up to be one of the beautiful ones. I'm like, what do you mean by that? What does that mean? And and she said, oh, yeah, no, you one of the beautiful ones. You one of the light skinned ones. I'm like, no, but I think you're beautiful too. Like I don't understand why you said that. So at the time I didn't understand. Once I grew up, then I started to understand. Like even if in our country we have that diversity where, you know, like one color is against another color, and it shouldn't be that way. We all the same race. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it didn't make sense to me. Like, and I'm talking about this. This is something that happened when I was around 11, 12.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the person that said this to me was the same age. So I was just like, yo, like, where did that come from?
It's a colonizer brain.
I reached out to her. No, I reached out to her years later, and she told me, nah, I didn't understand what I was saying at the time. Like, you know, she understood that she's beautiful and all of that. You know, like, but it was just a mindset that they have from young because they hear people talk, and it was. Like, it was sad. That's why I decided to reach out to her. But then, you know, we came into an
because it hurt
like,
you.
Yeah? No, it made me feel weird. Like, it was weird.
Right,
like, I'm like,
right.
what do you mean I'm the beautiful one? I don't understand what that meant.
Wow.
You know, you understand what I'm saying? I didn't know what that meant at the time. What?
Well,
because
now
of my color?
You see why I had to write this book?
So it's crazy.
The whole book is not based off, that's just one notebook. But I had to put that notebook in there, and I put it in the beginning. It's the second notebook because it was important. Because colorism is horrible. I've experienced it as a black woman. I've experienced it from darker skinned black women or from lighter skin because I'm in the middle of both ends. I'm the Carmel girl in the middle. So I get to see from things from both ends. You see what I mean? No one's bothering me because I'm light. No one's bothering me because I'm dark. It depends on
the dynamics.
What's the population of who I'm around. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And I've also had it from other people that are also brown as me. Or browner sometimes. Just my hair, my complexion. And people don't realize that they're hurtful things. They don't realize. Like, I don't think people do it necessarily because they're trying to be mean. They think they're being helpful.
Yeah, no, it's no malice intent.
It's the thing. That's how they were raised, too. That's the thing.
Exactly.
Sometimes, even the community, like, if the whole community is doing the same thing, they start thinking. People don't realize how much the community affect you in your way you think, or the way you think.
Exactly. And that's why I wrote this book.
All right, so you know, like, what other interesting things will people find in the book?
Yeah, because we just have a long conversation. That's only one part.
That's a big conversation, right?
I know,
that's just like 1/15 of the book, and we have like a conversation. Oh my God! So if you have another part that you would like to talk about,
okay. Let's do the fifth notebook.
All right,
Dear God.
Okay.
The character is questioning God, rightfully so, because she's a teenager. She's only knows what she's experiencing in that home. And she also knows that someone is carrying her off to church, her mother, every Sunday. You know, and she's being forced to listen to the pastor,
The
you
word
know,
of God, yeah.
to go along with this whole thing. And she's trying to make sense of, how does this make sense? Because I'm at home, I'm getting beat, I'm getting abused, all these different things are going on. And now on Sunday, you're forcing me to go to church and give thanks to God. And she's questioning God in that fifth notebook, saying, dear God, why me? She's praying, you know, make this make sense.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what this notebook is about.
I mean, that's difficult. Yeah, I know there's many people that be in that situation where everything is going so wrong that they be thinking, why it's gotta be me?
Right. So she's questioning God. But in this notebook, I'm also, as the writer, I'm calling out the actual individuals inside the church as well. Like, there's a homeless guy in one of the scenes. He's outside the church. He has a sign that says, you know, I haven't eaten in 3 days or whatever, please help. And everybody that's going to the church that happens to be like right where this guy is, they're just rushing past him. They're not even looking his way. They're not paying him any attention because they have to get inside the church and do God's work. And they don't want to be late because service is starting at 10 o'clock or whatever, right?
Yeah.
So how do you go past the homeless guy that's hungry because you going in there to do God's work? Isn't that God's work too? Is that God's work? Caring for people.
Yeah, I always what I believe my opinion is on that is like you have to do like what you feel is the right thing for you, right? You have to understand like and be, you know, like understand what the surroundings is, because you know it could be that person the reason he doesn't see the homeless person because he's accustomed to watching a homeless person every corner. And you know you got raised to think, yo, don't give him money like by your parents or something like that. So then you kind of like just forget like, okay, this, you know, I'm supposed to help them. Like if I have $1 and I could give it away, give it away, because you know that it does good not only for that person that you just help, but for yourself. Right. So you know like.
And what about this though? What if it just says food for thought? What if showing up at the church every Sunday all dressed up in your best suit is a shenanigan because it makes you look good? You know, I go to church every week. I look good. I'm dressing up. I'm looking good for Jesus because, you know, you have to look a certain way when you're going to visit, when you're going into God's house, right? It's a possibility. I'm not saying it is or isn't. I don't question people's religion. I just question their behavior.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is, if you are really studying Christianity in the way that I understand it, and you're doing God's work, how do you do God's work while stepping over someone that's hungry or hurting or anything else because you got to hurry up, you're rushing to get in there? How does that's a contradiction? Maybe I should have named this book Contradiction, because that's what I'm doing throughout each notebook, and I'm giving you both perspectives. Like, how does that make sense?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't, man. And we do see a lot of things. We do see a lot of people that, you know, who follow, you know, like God's you know, word, and but then you see their actions is totally different than what it is that they are perceiving to show you when they do go to church. So we do see that. We do see that.
The gossiping is another issue that's in that notebook, in the fifth notebook. You know, you're more concerned about how tight someone's skirt is. Oh, she shouldn't be coming in here with those.
I know somebody like that. So
you know what I mean? You worrying about the size of someone's breast and how it's hanging out the shirt. You worrying about all these things that have nothing to do with you. It's not your business, right? And from my understanding, the church is supposed to be the hospital for the sick. That's what I was told, right? So if I'm already fixed, then I don't need to be in there. And if I'm not fixed, that's why I'm showing up maybe inappropriately or with the wrong clothes or whatever. But let God put it on my heart to say, that skirt is too short and it should, you see what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not for you as the two church people to stop me at the door and don't allow me in because you don't think I'm appropriately dressed for your God.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I mean, something that I believe, I guess, is like people who are gossiping, they're already like, I mean, the life that they're living, if all you're living is through gossip and going
But
through,
isn't that a contradiction?
Yeah.
It's a I'm going to point this last contradiction out, then we could go to another one.
Yeah.
Judge not and ye shall not be judged, right? These are all the principles that I've heard studying Christianity. You know, we're all the same, whatever. We're all created equal, whatever. So if it's your part of your principle not to judge not and ye shall not be judged, then how am I worried about what you're wearing? I should be more concerned that you are in God's house to hear the word.
Yeah.
You see my point?
Yeah, no, of course. No, and it's what I'm saying, like, you know, like people that gossip, they're just...
It's the judgment of others. You know, why are you doing this? Or how you going to do a podcast? Blah, 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 blah. Like, judging every step that someone else is taking. If I show up a certain way, you don't have to like what I have on. You can think that it's too tight. But I'm wearing it. It's my business.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand. Like I tell you, I know somebody from church. He's so judgmental, really judgmental.
Exactly.
I don't even talk to him no more.
Right, and then but you're singing all the songs.
Yeah.
You're reading all this stuff. It's like, what are you? Do you know what you're reading? Because your behavior and how you speak is not in alignment with who you say you are. And you see, I don't judge whether it's Muslim, Christian. I could care less what you are. You could be a hooker. But whatever you are, stand in it 10 toes down. Don't say you're a this. Don't say I'm a Christian. You want everybody to know. But your behavior is not lined up with all of the judging and the gossiping. You could say you're a Muslim. Fine. But you can't tell people I'm a Muslim and then fry pork chops on Fridays because Muslims don't eat pork.
Yeah.
So all I'm saying is if you be whoever you say you are, that's what I have a problem with. I don't have a problem with the Christian church, Muslims, whatever.
No,
whatever.
I want to make it clear. I don't have a problem with because I know people from church. They do what they, like you said, they do what they do.
Right.
But I also know this person that's for church.
Right.
He think he's holy.
Right.
And he's a bad person.
Exactly. And like I said, that's the problem that I have with it. That's what I wrote about. The disconnect. Because what you're saying and what you're doing is two different things. And then
aligning.
you have the audacity on a good week when you didn't sin this week or you think you haven't. You want to go and curtail everything else everybody else is doing. Her skirt's too short, her this and that. But if you happen to slip up and have an affair with the pastor, you know, oh, God's going to forgive you for your stuff and he'll forgive her for her stuff. So mind your own business.
Yeah.
Worry about getting yourself right with whoever you serve. You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So that's what the fifth notebook is about.
All right, cool. So do you want to share of any other chapter?
Yeah, before we end it, one
Yeah.
more, right?
Yeah.
It's up to you.
The ninth notebook and the 11th notebook is somewhat intertwined, but not exactly. Okay. But it's, long story short, it's about how you feel about yourself from the people that are supposed to love you from the beginning when you're born, your parents, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so how if you're a little girl, your father is your first man in your life that's going to set the tone for how you feel and what you expect from men, and vice versa, if it's, a male and the mom or whatever.
Yeah.
When there's cracks in that foundation and things are missing or things are not the way they're supposed to be, and you send a wounded child out into the world, those are the most vulnerable and the ones that become victims and prey to predators, because it only takes someone showing up and saying, wow, you're so pretty. You see?
Yeah.
So you're 15. No man has ever told you were pretty. And now you're in high school or whatever, and here comes some guy. He's like, you so beautiful, you so pretty. And he's being nice to you and buy you some candy or whatever.
Yeah.
Where you think you're going to end up?
Yeah. No.
It don't take much for him to lure you off somewhere because nobody never told you was pretty. So you're so taken from hearing it. But if your father told you when
Yeah.
you were 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, by the time that little dirty boy shows up and says, you so pretty, you'd be like, could you get out my face? You see what I mean?
Yeah. So no, I was gonna ask how important is a child's life, like, and I'm talking about from the age of, let's say, 4 all the way to the age of 8, because those are the times where
Formative
those are
years.
the times where kids really experience what they're, like their environment, what they're going through. So like, how important do you believe that is, like, for you to the child's upbringing from, like, let's say the age of, let's say 4 to 8, like, more or less?
I think it's very important, but I think it happens even before that.
Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, because I'll tell you, I had an incident with my grandmother, my mother's mother, and I only know the story because it was told to me later on when I was older. But the story is, apparently I was 2, and I called my grandmother a black dog, right? According to the story that they told me out there. And she went ballistic and started screaming, who's a black dog? Who? And I had enough sense at 2 not to tell her that I was talking to her. I pointed at the stove and I was like, and the stove was white. So
Okay.
I knew at 2 to escape. But I also, what made me call her that at 2? Where did I hear that? Or was I just so intelligent at 2 that I just knew there was some things about her that I didn't care for? And I was feisty at 2. Like, I don't know exactly.
Yeah.
I only know what was said.
Okay.
But is that normal for a 2-year-old to call their grandmother a black dog?
I mean,
the
I don't
question
know.
is why. So what I mean is, even before 4 years old, whatever was moving around me wasn't completely 100% normal, because that's not normal.
I mean, I could understand how your grandma would be offended.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
I'm lucky she didn't kill me, right? I wouldn't even be here doing this podcast because I could have been dead at 2.
I think we're going to get to another point.
No, I know. No, it's crazy. No, but the thing is, like, as far as you calling her that, I mean, we will never know the story. I guess the answer to that question. But I mean, like, the way I look at it is like, you could have seen.
Why was it in my vocabulary? Who else did I hear saying that around me?
It was around
the
you.
older people
Yeah.
that was around me
Yes.
was calling each other a black dog. Somebody said it around me. And I knew what it meant because of the way they used it in the context that they used it.
Wait, was it a black dog or a black female dog, dude? Well, I just.
No, I said it, well, according to them, like I
Okay.
said, it was told to me. According to them, I said it with conviction, like I knew what I was saying. Like
Okay.
when somebody says, get down out of that chair, and I turn around and see, you black dog. It was like that.
Damn.
So it wasn't
All
no
right.
accident.
Okay.
I wasn't mixing her up with the German Shepherd or anything.
Okay,
no.
okay.
I was saying it like I would say it to somebody right now.
All right.
wow.
Okay,
At
it makes.
2.
Yeah.
So what did I hear
Knowing
in
where,
the air that
no-
made me say that?
Knowing what environment were you in for you to even.
That's
have
what I
that-
wanna know.
That analogy to say that to someone with that thought at 2 years old.
Right. So
Yeah,
now
that's-
to use, I brought that point up because when you said 4, what you do around a 2-year-old, what you
that
do
counts
around
too.
a 1-year-old,
Yeah.
if a newborn can experience trauma. They can't express it. That somebody's smacking them up or whatever, but you feel it.
feel
It's a
it, yeah.
visceral. It's
Yeah.
a feeling, right?
Yeah.
So 4,
yeah.
by the time you get 4, you could already be super traumatized.
Yeah, no, that's true. It's crazy, and I only say that because you start having some type of reason at 4. Like I could remember certain things from 4 years old.
Right.
So that's why I expressed that age. But it's from the time
and
that
we
you're
don't
born.
know the exact age, but we do know that it happens early. We start remembering things that are traumatic. We remember stuff.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons I was saying before. Like the way we are raised in our community, it also affects the way that we act. So, like you were saying, like since you must have said that because you must have heard somebody say, and it was already in your mind. You already know what I mean.
Right.
You did say that because you were 2.
Right. So, maybe some of my siblings were talking about her around me, and I heard it, and I, being 2, just blurted it out, and it was supposed to be a secret. You see what I mean? I blurted it out, and they had enough sense not to say that to her face because they were older. I don't really know. I just know that I was 2.
Yeah.
And where did I hear that? What did I hear? What made me say that?
Yeah, no, that's crazy, man. But we having an interesting conversation today, man.
Yeah,
this is
it is.
Yeah, it's very intriguing. So there's something that I noticed, right? When I looked at the end of the book, right? I noticed that you have like certain affirmations.
Yes.
At the end of the book, why is that? And you even have you even have like a victims of crime and family, like what are the people into?
Helpful resources, because this book has so much stuff in it that it's going to ruffle a feather here or there. And I wanted to be responsible and offer some helpful numbers and resources because I didn't want anyone to get to the end of the book and be all in their feelings and do something crazy and I would feel responsible. So at the end, I didn't just hit them with the story. I'm like, okay, so now if you are upset after reading this story, call this number here. Call this number and get some help.
Call this number.
And I gave you a whole bunch.
What is this?
Yeah, there's a whole bunch.
What am I in for? Like,
oh no, but that's good though.
It is. It's good and thoughtful. I mean, and it just what this is doing for me is intriguing me even more to want to read this. Like I'm like, what kind of stuff am I gonna read?
Right. That you're going to need a helpful number at the end.
It got me crazy. I'm like, I'm gonna read this. So and then I said, you do have some affirmations here.
A whole bunch.
And
that's actually 52.
Oh, wow.
It's actually 52, so you have one for every week. Because sometimes I see a lot of books with daily affirmations, and it's just every day you get up and they give you something else to read.
Yeah.
But you're not really nothing is really sticking because it's so quick. It's like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I have 52, and it's one for every week because it gives, for 7 days, if you keep with the same one, it'll hit different. You'll remember it. And that's why I didn't do like daily affirmations, because it's like you just rushing through them and you don't remember what the lesson was. So I give you one it's like marinate it on it for a minute. And the next week you go to another one and marinate on that. And by the time you marinate on all of them, they'll become a part of your core. You'll remember some of them. You see what I mean?
No, of course. No, that's great, man. But this looks like it's about to be something like some raw and authentic, man. And I see here in the even in the title it says it. Powerful, profound, and raw.
Yes, and you have some blank pages back there. It's a journal for you.
I was actually
gonna ask you about that right now.
Yeah, that was the next thing I was gonna say. I'm like, why is there some blank pages? But then I see there's a journal.
Yes.
So okay, so what is the journal for?
For you to write your feelings after you finish reading the book.
Okay.
Of what it meant to you, what it kicked up in you, whatever emotion you're feeling at the end. That's what that journal is for.
Okay.
It's just.
It might inspire you to write a book like you did. So that's dope.
Exactly. And it's just to sort of plant the seed.
Yeah.
Because there's not, of course, enough pages for you to start a whole journal. But it's to give you the idea to get your own journal and start writing stuff.
How important you think it is for people to write?
Very important. I love it.
Yeah.
You know why? And it'll tell you in one of these, somewhere in there, the good thing about paper. You know the good thing about paper? Paper doesn't throw anything back in your face. Right?
All right, yeah.
And
of
it's
course.
between you and the paper. See, if you tell it to me, I may repeat it.
Yeah.
Right? I may tell him as soon as you walk away, like, you know what he said?
Yeah.
But if you write it down, it gives you, some sense of peace because you got to express it.
Yeah.
Because that's what we all need, just to express stuff, right? We need to get it out
Get
of
it
us
out,
and
yeah.
put it down somewhere. When you put it on paper, it's between you and the paper. The paper is not going to judge you. The paper is not going to throw it back in your face. And you get to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
It's not even going to stop you and interrupt you like I may do.
I mean, you could tell people I wrote something too, because I mean, it's powerful when you write. That's the thing. I mean, I never wrote a book, but I've written some more stuff
Right,
for myself.
right.
Like, so, and it's
It
incredible.
can save your life. It can keep you out of trouble.
Yes.
Definitely.
You know when you're
Yeah.
upset
Yeah.
at your girlfriend or something, instead of going over there, destroying stuff or saying things that you may regret the next day out of anger, grab a notebook and call her all the stuff you want to call her on paper. And once you get it out of you, you're going to feel a little better because you vented. And then you can rip it up and throw it out. And she never knew that you even was feeling all that stuff 2 days ago, because 2 days later, you're not feeling all that stuff. Now you're in love again. So instead of having the habit of always saying everything that's on your mind in that moment and getting in your feelings, when you're in your feelings, grab some paper.
And write it down.
So that's why that
powerful,
journal
yeah.
is there, because I want to encourage people to start writing.
Nah, I'm
dope.
gonna have to start writing again. I mean, I don't know if I could write a book. I can say, but I'm gonna start writing like I used to, because I used to write like, I don't know if I could say poem or songs. I guess say song.
Right.
So it does help, though. You'll be
It's a
surprised.
judgment-free zone.
Yes.
You can write whatever you want. It's for you. If you think your songs are good, write them down. It doesn't matter what he thinks, what I think, whatever. It doesn't matter what you think
Yeah.
about my book.
So
It's what I wanted to write, and that's the freedom of writing. It's between you and the paper.
like you were saying right now, it doesn't matter what people think. When you start writing the book, maybe I should ask you before. Was the critique bad or good, or do you even care about the critique, or
I
because
did
you know
somewhat. But then again, I think I was critiquing myself more so. It's like once I presented it to someone else and said, "What you think about this?" I'm already convinced that it's good. I'm just waiting for you to confirm, like, yeah, this is good. You see, because if you probably said, "No, I don't like this," I probably wouldn't listen to you anyway. Knowing me, that's just me.
no, I'm just saying.
No.
I'm
No,
the
but
same way
it's a
because-
positive mindset. No,
I'm saying usually, in all fairness, when you write stuff, it goes to an editor because they take this out, move that over there,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm just one of those personalities. Like, I may hear something that, if it makes sense to me,
Yeah.
I will implement the change. But if it doesn't make sense and it's coming from just your personal opinion of, no, you should move this notebook over there, and I think you should have said this or take this out. If I don't agree with it, I'm just not going to listen. I'll take my chances like I do with everything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there the way I think it should go.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's
let
one
it do
thing
what
I
it do.
usually say. Like, it's good to take critique, but know which one to take, because some
Right.
critique are not even helpful.
And some critique is based off what? Like, all that is in my affirmations. You'll see.
Oh wow!
That's
So we already
another
took
thing.
about.
Yeah.
How people critique things like, who made you the professional on color codes, or that doesn't match with those shoes, or whatever. Who told you that you such a great color coordinator,
yeah.
No,
fashion designer,
No,
book
and a lot of
writer?
people that
You
gossiping
see-
a chick, they're not even doing that work.
Right.
It's like, what are you talking
And
about?
sometimes the reason why you have to be suspicious, I'm not saying, no, I don't like this, I probably wouldn't listen to you anyway. Knowing me, that's just me.
No, I'm just saying.
No.
I'm
No,
the
but
same way
it's a
because-
positive mindset. No,
I'm saying usually, in all fairness, when you write stuff, it goes to an editor because they take this out, move that over there,
Yeah.
whatever. I'm just one of those personalities. Like, I may hear something that, if it makes sense to me,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will implement the change. But if it doesn't make sense and it's coming from just your personal opinion of, no, you should move this notebook over there, and I think you should have said this or take this out. If I don't agree with it, I'm just not going to listen. I'll take my chances like I do with everything else.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it out there the way I think it should go.
That makes sense.
I mean, that's
let
one
it do
thing
what
I
it do.
usually say. Like, it's good to take critique, but know which one to take because some
Right.
critique are not even helpful.
And some critique is based off what? Like, all that is in my affirmations. You'll see.
Oh wow!
That's
So we already
another
talk
thing.
about
Yeah.
How people critique things like, who made you the professional on color codes, or that doesn't match with those shoes or whatever. Who told you that you such a great color coordinator,
yeah.
No,
fashion designer,
No,
book
and a lot of
writer?
people that
You
gossip and
see-
go trick, they're not even doing that work.
Right.
It's like, what are you talking
And
about?
sometimes the reason why you have to be suspicious, I'm not saying don't listen to others, but suspicious at least, because you don't know where their heart is when they're critiquing.
yeah.
You don't know if it's out of jealousy. It's like, hey, what you think about my podcast? And he's telling you all this negative stuff. Nah, I don't know. You don't have enough space. He's just coming over. Look, but it's really because he wants to do a podcast. He's mad because you're doing the podcast. So his advice may not be authentic.
No, I learned from the early start because my hobby. I don't think I talk about it. Is making music. So I remember when I made my first CD, I was just giving it to everybody, and the critique was not good. But I mean,
And they crushed your spirit.
no, that's the funny part. I never did because I was thinking they just being haters. So
Yeah, so you gotta think. Yeah, there you go.
See? That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
no, believe me, I actually believe in my music. I know there's some people that if they hear a bad critique, they be like, "Oh man, maybe I shouldn't do that." But I never took it bad. Like I always used to believe
That's
like
good.
they just don't understand my sound.
Right.
So,
and that's
that's
what I'm saying. If you can I can handle it. When people, it's like I don't have to agree with what you're saying. If you can handle it, then by all means share it with everybody. Because I do. I said, "What you think about this?" But if I don't really feel like your feedback makes sense, I'll be like, "Whatever." You see, I can dismiss it.
as long as
Exactly,
you know,
yeah.
as long as you know it's just good. Like I was saying with my music, I already know it's good. I just, like you would say, I just wanted people to hear it to see
Right,
what they
because you're
feel.
excited about your accomplishment.
Yes,
Exactly.
Perfect.
And here came the haters.
of course.
They always come, man. So you gotta be prepared. Just know where you're at. Keep your mindset elevated to what it is that you are accomplishing, and everything will turn out fine.
And thank
So-
God for the haters.
Yeah.
Because they let you know when you're doing good. Right?
No, and and not only that, sometimes they are the best critics.
Right.
Sometimes like
Right.
they'll say something to you and you're like, oh, I could use that.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly.
So let's improve. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
There's
Yeah.
a benefit
So,
to
yeah.
everything, even manure. Don't they use that for something? To fertilize?
I believe so. Yeah, I mean,
Right.
this they find everything.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's the bottom line is there's a purpose for everything, even when it doesn't feel good all the time. But there's
Yeah.
a purpose for everything. Everything happens for a reason.
Oh wow.
All right, awesome. So my last question I would say would be like what would be the message that you would like to give to our viewers? Because I know like there's some intense stuff in this book. And like we see that we had the hotlines there. So what would be the positive message that you would give to the viewers who are gonna be reading your book?
The message for the viewers is number 15, which is for mom and everyone, full circle. Read that
Okay.
because I summarize everything. And there's a powerful message there.
Okay.
There really is. And it brings it all together. And I guess it's when you know better, you can do better.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
you would have to read Full Circle. That's what it's called. Full Circle, which is
Okay. That's the last chapter.
number.
basically.
No, it's not.
Oh, it's not? Okay.
No, but it's number 15.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Got
okay.
you.
It's number 15,
All right.
and it's gonna bring it all the notebooks
Bring it
together.
all together.
It's going to blend it all together, and it speaks to the community at large.
All right, spoken like a true salesman. All right, guys. So, right?
Saleswoman.
Yeah, well, yeah, saleswoman,
Yeah,
saleswoman.
come on.
Sorry. You know, like I know it's something that we gotta grow into that too.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So basically, we want to thank you for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Very, very entertaining segment we had today.
No, real entertainment, and we gave mad knowledge like always and power to our community, and that's what we try to do right now.
Right, and that's what you are doing. You ain't trying, you doing it.
Oh yeah,
And I'm proud of you.
I gotta
Thank
change
you.
that part. Try. I've done it a couple of times. Yeah, I gotta fix that.
All right, awesome. So
I'm proud of you guys. I just want to say that on air.
And thank you for coming.
And that's serious.
I really do appreciate that you took time to come over here and be our guest, because I know you gotta travel to come over here.
Yeah.
So, I say that to every guest. I do appreciate it, because they're gonna have to come over here and now they're showing up to our community, and we all helping each other at the end of the day.
Because we going viral.
Oh yeah, no. We definitely want you back. So
We want you back on your third book, because I'm pretty sure she's gonna buy another book anyway. So we definitely gonna have you back.
Okay.
And
I'll be back.
Yeah, and before
where can we find you?
You can find me on Facebook. My real name, DeVeatrice Bryant.
Okay.
And you can find me on Instagram at This Woman Is Talented, in case you didn't already know that.
yeah, definitely.
Love the confidence. So yeah, we'll put it in a link.
Okay.
Yeah, so that
Just give me your information so I could put it on the. We're gonna put it in our podcast app. Like we could follow us at Level Up Success Podcast.popbeat.com. Or if you don't want to go to the website, you could go to any app like Spotify, Google iPad,
Podcast,
Apple Podcast.
Yeah, Apple
Right.
Podcast. No, it's iPodcast. I think it is.
and
We'll
I
figure it out.
It
I
doesn't
did
really
forget
matter.
to tell them that it's on Amazon. It's on
Okay.
Audible. And it's available for Kindle.
Okay,
Forgot
awesome.
that part.
Awesome.
And here's a picture of the book. Remember,
Right.
don't forget to read the book. And like I said before, I'm glad for you coming over here. And if you like what we're doing, please follow us.
There's actually one last thing.
Oh, tell me.
One last thing. All right. So, since this book, may go a long way, right?
Yeah.
It's gonna go a long
It's
way.
going a long way.
I would like to ask you a question. Have you gotten an autograph yet? Have you written an autograph yet?
I have, but I'll write one for you.
Yeah. I
definitely
want an
appreciate it.
autograph.
You want it on camera?
I mean, if you want to, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we can take it off camera. It don't matter. I
got you.
And I just do a snapshot, put it on the video.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
take it
yeah.
off. We'll take it off
All
camera.
right.
Because then when I know they looking at me, so. And I want to write. I want to write it to you from my heart.
I got you. All right, guys. So while she writes this down, want to give you guys the peace out. All right. One love.
Peace.
All right.